Hello fellow gardeners, and welcome back to the Humus Heritage. Today, we're diving deep into something truly extraordinary that's about to revolutionize the way you think about composting. What if I told you there's a method that smells sweet instead of rotten, fits perfectly in the smallest apartment kitchen, and supercharges your soil like nothing you've ever experienced? Forget everything you thought you knew about traditional composting. We're about to unlock the ancient secrets of Bokashi, a unique Japanese fermentation process that's transforming gardens worldwide. Beyond the compost bin. Traditional composting requires space, time, and careful maintenance of carbon-to-nitrogen ratios. Most of us don't have sprawling backyards with dedicated composting areas. We live in apartments with small balconies, townhouses with modest yards, or homes where regulations prohibit compost piles. Beyond space constraints, traditional composting can't handle many food scraps we generate, forcing us to throw perfectly good organic matter into landfills. Enter Bokashi, a revolutionary indoor composting method that operates on completely different principles. This isn't just another trendy gardening hack. Bokashi represents a fundamental shift in how we process organic waste, drawing on centuries of Japanese agricultural wisdom. Rather than requiring perfect ratios, regular turning, and outdoor space, Bokashi thrives in sealed containers right in your kitchen, transforming food scraps into nutrient-dense soil amendments that produce rich, dark earth and vibrant plants. The fermentation secret. At the heart of Bokashi's magic lies effective microorganisms, or EM. This carefully balanced blend of naturally occurring beneficial microbes consists primarily of lactic acid bacteria, yeasts, and phototrophic bacteria. These microscopic powerhouses are the same organisms used in making yogurt, cheese, and beer. When introduced to food scraps in an oxygen-free environment, they begin fermentation rather than decomposition. This fundamental difference makes Bokashi revolutionary. The fermentation process is anaerobic, occurring without oxygen in stark contrast to traditional composting, which requires regular aeration. These beneficial microorganisms are delivered through Bokashi bran, which is wheat bran, rice bran, or sawdust inoculated with the EM culture and dried for storage. When you sprinkle this bran over kitchen scraps and seal them in an airtight container, you create the perfect environment for these microbes to multiply and work their magic. What makes this particularly exciting is the incredible range of materials you can process. Unlike traditional compost bins that require avoiding meat, dairy, oils, and cooked foods, Bokashi welcomes these materials. You can confidently add chicken bones, moldy cheese, leftover pasta with sauce, fish scraps, and even small amounts of paper products. The fermentation process essentially pickles your food waste, preserving it in an acidic environment that prevents putrefaction and foul odors. Instead of decomposing into a smelly mess, your scraps undergo controlled fermentation that smells pleasantly sour and sweet, kind of like pickles or sourdough bread. This process happens remarkably quickly, with initial fermentation completing in just 2 weeks. The microbes don't just break down materials, they enhance the nutritional profile by producing vitamins, enzymes, and organic acids that wouldn't exist in traditionally composted materials. Hands-on Bokashi setup and success. Getting started with Bokashi requires minimal investment. The cornerstone is a specialized bucket, typically 5 gallons, designed with an airtight lid and a spigot near the bottom for draining liquid. While you can purchase purpose-built Bokashi buckets, many resourceful composters create their own using food-grade plastic buckets with tight-fitting lids, adding a simple spigot and creating a false bottom with a perforated plate. Your second critical component is Bokashi bran, which you can purchase online or from gardening stores. Some dedicated gardeners make their own by purchasing EM concentrate and inoculating wheat bran, though buying ready-made bran is easier when starting out. You'll also want a small container for collecting the liquid tea that drains from your bucket. The layering technique is where the art truly comes alive. Start by sprinkling a generous handful of Bokashi bran across the bottom of your empty bucket. Throughout your day, collect kitchen scraps, then add them to your Bokashi bucket in the evening. Chopping scraps into smaller pieces accelerates fermentation by increasing surface area, though this isn't absolutely necessary. After adding each layer of food waste, sprinkle another covering of bran, using approximately 1 tablespoon per inch of scraps. The crucial next step is pressing down firmly with a potato masher, compacting materials and removing air pockets. A properly functioning bokashi bucket will develop a sweet-sour aroma, kind of like pickles. If you detect truly foul, putrid odors, this typically means anaerobic conditions weren't maintained, often because the lid wasn't sealed properly. White mold growing on the surface is actually beneficial and shows healthy fermentation, while black or green mold suggests there are problems. The liquid that builds up should be drained every 2 to 3 days to keep it from becoming overly acidic. And just a heads up, this liquid is way too concentrated to use directly on plants and must be diluted before you apply it. Harvesting liquid gold and soil power. The Bokashi tea that collects is an extraordinarily potent liquid fertilizer, packed with beneficial microorganisms, enzymes, and nutrients. For most uses, you'll want to dilute the tea at a ratio of 1 tablespoon per gallon of water when watering houseplants or garden beds. The microbes in this tea actually colonize the soil around your plant's roots, which improves nutrient uptake and helps protect against soil-borne diseases. Oh, and you can also use undiluted Bokashi tea as a really powerful drain cleaner, where those beneficial bacteria keep working to break down organic buildup in pipes and get rid of odors. So, after about 2 weeks of filling and fermenting, what you have isn't quite finished compost yet. It's more like pre-compost or fermented waste. Your food scraps, well, they'll still be recognizable, although softened and pickled. The material will have a strong acidic smell, and honestly, it shouldn't be applied directly to plant roots. Now, this pre-compost needs its final transformation, which happens when you introduce it to soil and let the wider soil ecosystem complete the breakdown process. The traditional method involves digging a trench in your garden bed, about 8 to 12 inches deep, then pouring in the pre-compost and covering it thoroughly with soil. Make sure to mark this spot and avoid planting directly in it for 2 to 4 weeks. This gives time for the acidic materials to neutralize and fully decompose. Alternatively, you can create a soil factory by filling a large planter halfway with garden soil, adding your Bokashi pre-compost, and topping it with more soil. After 4 to 6 weeks, this mixture transforms into incredibly rich potting soil. And for those with existing compost piles, you can add Bokashi pre-compost directly to the pile, where it will accelerate decomposition of other materials. Your garden's future with Bokashi, it's quite promising. The long-term benefits of incorporating Bokashi extend far beyond just convenient waste disposal. Gardens regularly amended with Bokashi processed materials develop remarkably improved soil structure. We're talking enhanced water retention, better drainage, and that crumbly, friable texture that makes working the soil a joy. The diverse population of beneficial microorganisms creates a living soil ecosystem that continues providing benefits long after the visible organic matter has integrated. Gardeners who commit to Bokashi consistently report plants with increased resilience to environmental stresses, fewer pest problems, and yields that surpass anything achieved with traditional composting alone. The nutrient density is exceptional because fermentation preserves nutrients that would otherwise be lost in traditional hot composting. Nitrogen in particular remains largely intact, whereas conventional composting can lose significant nitrogen as ammonia gas. From a sustainability perspective, adopting Bokashi represents a powerful contribution to addressing our food waste crisis. When organic materials decompose anaerobically in landfills without beneficial control, they produce methane, a greenhouse gas with roughly 30 times the heat-trapping capacity of carbon dioxide. By diverting kitchen scraps from the waste stream and processing them through Bokashi, you're directly reducing methane emissions while creating a valuable resource that builds soil health. Your journey toward Bokashi mastery begins with that first bucket, but possibilities expand tremendously as you gain experience. Many practitioners eventually maintain multiple buckets in rotation, ensuring they always have one actively filling while others are fermenting. The ancient wisdom embedded in this Japanese practice offers modern gardeners a powerful tool for building soil health, reducing waste, and growing more abundant, resilient gardens. If this exploration of Bokashi has inspired you to transform your relationship with kitchen waste and supercharge your soil, we'd love to have you continue this journey with us here at the Humus Heritage. Subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into time-tested gardening wisdom and innovative techniques that bridge ancient knowledge with modern sustainability. Share this guide with fellow gardeners who might benefit from discovering Bokashi, and let us know in the comments about your own experiences. Together, we're building not just healthier gardens, but a more sustainable future rooted in the soil beneath our feet.